We're tanned. We're rested. We're ready. We're Dave and Darren, and we're back after a bit of a vacation.
And we're running for president.
No, that's not happening. But we are here to give you the top 5 things, a review of what happened on our morning show at Planet 93.9.
The podcast is brought to you by the good people at Nature's Treatment. You can order recreational items online from the Galesburg location and medicinal items from the Milan location. Both of those you can do through Leafly, and you'll find that if you go to the website, ntillinois.com.
Here we go.
Number one.
Number one.
McDonald's facing a tight supply on their paper-to-go bags. They're running out of bags at McDonald's. And now they're telling owners of the restaurants, you got to cool it with the bags. And what's happening is the freak out that's happening at McDonald's across these United States is that when you go in to eat, and this isn't going to sound that foreign to you or I, but when you go in to eat, the food is just being put on a tray.
Yeah.
And the people that work at McDonald's are freaking out because they've never had to do that before. What they've been doing for a
Is that
long time.
right?
Yeah, so when you go in to eat at a McDonald's,
They just still put it in a bag?
they still put it on a bag.
Well,
and
then no wonder they're running out of bags. There's no bag shortage. There's no bag shortage. You're just basically...
Total communication.
Yeah.
The chain telling restaurant owners they need to limit orders of bags from suppliers as usage is running ahead of already high numbers from last year.
Well, stop using them when people dine in. Duh.
Customers are asking for their Big Macs, McNuggets, and fries in bags even when they dine inside.
No, you're not getting that.
Workers have spent months packing all the orders in to-go for the pandemic, are not used to serving meals on trays.
Well, get used to it.
Companies saying here in an in-company message here, many new crew members have never had to deal with trays before.
What is this tray you talk about?
Transition to using trays has been slower, more difficult, because we haven't done it in so long.
Now, do I hold it this way or do I hold it this way?
What am I supposed to do with this, man? They say here, we are confident customers should not see disruption. We will continue to watch this closely. Restaurant sales have risen. Reading here from the Wall Street Journal, it says restaurant sales have risen from the depths of the pandemic, but operations are far from normal, even for the big chains like McDonald's.
Huh. I guess I haven't dined in a McDonald's in quite some time. Why would I?
Yeah. Right. You get it from the
But
window.
I would still think that the last time I did dine in one, that they just put it on a tray, didn't they?
It must have been a while ago, because it's been a long time since they've done that, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, in my head, they just put the hamburger sandwiches on the tray.
And the French fries and your
Right.
soda on the tray, and there you go.
And you've got that paper advertisement on the tray where you can put your ketchup.
Right, asking you if you'd like to work here.
Exactly.
And so far, the answer's been no. So far.
To-go orders accounted for 81% of business in the 12 months that ended on June 30th.
Makes sense.
That's up almost 20% from the prior year.
That seems only 20%.
Yeah.
Only 20%.
Yes.
Huh.
McDonald's bringing back dine-in service as locations have lifted pandemic-related restrictions. I guess, remember, for a long time, you didn't have the option to dine inside a McDonald's.
You know what I really miss?
I'll tell you when this whole thing is over, the first thing I'm going to do...
Buddy, I tell you, you know about the worst thing about this? You mean all the people dying? No. Oh, I miss dining at a McDonald's.
Supply chain disruptions related to coronavirus hitting other supplies from ketchup. Remember, that was the story a couple months ago, that you couldn't get ketchup at any of your fast food places? Starbucks says they're running out of cups, plastic lid toppers, and syrup. The Del Taco restaurants chain, now we don't have that here in town, Del Taco.
Is that a guy?
Hello, I'm Del Taco, and I'm going to teach you the subtle art of improvisation. No, Del Taco, where is that? That's a West Coast thing, right?
California thing, or?
Yeah, that seems like the sort of thing you'd be into. If we had a Del Taco.
Sure, I would be.
Yeah? What are they known for?
Tacos.
Crunch tatas, the big thing that they're into now.
Big tostada.
That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
A crunch tata tostada. Well, I don't hate this. This looks fantastic. But these are all on the West Coast, the Del Taco, right? Where is the nearest Del Taco?
I could probably just make my way to a Taco Tico.
How far away are those?
I know there's one in Mason City.
Really? And that's where the famous Dave's is. Or not famous Dave's, Diamond Dave's. I'm trying to think of the other.
There's a Diamond Dave's in Muscatine, isn't there?
Yeah. There's a bunch of. Okay. Mexican chains that we don't have. We have Taco John's. We have Taco Bell. We don't have Del Taco. We don't have Taco Tico.
I don't know that Taco Tico is a big organization.
Oh, really? I'm disappointed to hear that. Anyway, these folks at Del Taco telling their investors that they're trying to manage their packaging shortages.
We're trying. We just didn't know it was going to take this much time.
Packaging costs are up 10% compared with last year for Noodles and Company. Noodles and Company, by the way, founded by a guy from the Quad Cities.
Mm-hmm.
That's largely because of the raw material resin getting more expensive for the bowls they put your noodles in.
Do they put your noodles in a bowl or in a box if you get it to go? Still a bowl?
I think it's a bowl.
Still a bowl. Yeah. But is it a bowl in a box or just a bowl?
That's a good question. I feel like it's a bowl in a bag. When last time I picked up something from Noodles and Company, I think it was the plastic bowls that they put in a bag. McDonald's also telling restaurants they're going to need to start limiting their straw purchases too, because one of the chain suppliers in the U.S. is running short because of labor shortfalls, rail disruptions, West Coast wildfires, and resin outages. That's a perfect storm. They're not going to have straws anymore.
I never request a straw.
No, because straws are for children. Well, straws work if you're in the car.
I don't request a straw in the car.
Really? You drinking?
No, I still prefer to drink if I'm going to have a soda.
Yeah?
I like the idea of having, because you don't get the ice in your mouth if you're using a straw.
And you want the ice in your mouth.
I want the ice in my mouth.
McDonald's says they don't think they're going to run out of straws, but they anticipate having to limit deliveries for as many as 2 months. Sorry, we're out of straws. So it could be that it's not that they forgot to put the straw in the bag. It could be that they just don't have it.
I don't know how they can run out of ketchup when they never remember to put it in your bag, even if it's 2 seconds after you asked for it.
That's.
I don't know that you're telling me the truth.
We got plenty.
Didn't I just ask for? Oh, we got plenty. Yeah, it's kind of a fun story we float out there, but don't worry, we got you know we've got plenty.
Someone says you should never use ketchup from a ketchup dispenser because they don't change those very frequently. Employees clean the dispenser.
Would you want to?
Clean out the ketchup dispenser?
Yeah. Make a day of it, I guess.
New ketchup only gets put in after the old ketchup gets used up.
Completely used up.
Yeah. So
if it's halfway full, they're not going to put additional ketchup in, because then that way we'll never figure out how old the ketchup is.
Right. New ketchup only gets put in after the old ketchup gets used up.
Once it starts making the farting noises. Once it starts farting, then you can clean and replace. Whoa, 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 whoa. Clean?
Yeah. According to an Ask Me Anything thread of McDonald's employees, they say you should never get ketchup from the ketchup dispenser.
Did you hear the ketchup dispenser farting? I didn't either. So what do you think you're doing replacing the ketchup?
See, I would have assumed that there would be some sort of bag of ketchup.
Yeah.
And they would just sort of twist on it.
And then once that bag is done, it's done.
It's just a big bucket of ketchup.
The same way they would do it with like their soda syrup. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was picturing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this article says McDonald's employees agree the one sauce you should never eat at McDonald's is the ketchup from the ketchup dispenser. It would seem to me that an organization as big as McDonald's would have that figured out.
You would think, though, that every public restaurant, every restaurant, every person who works there is going to tell you, you should never come here. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, right?
Yeah. I mean,
employees are going to say, oh, no. Oh, my God.
Well, yeah. I know too much about the inside operations of this place. Yeah, like when I go to...
And you can name any place. It doesn't matter. You're going to find employees that say, don't
do this. I beg of you. You shouldn't do this. Well, we'll see. Again, the people working at the McDonald's, a lot of the new crew members, freaking out because they've never had to use a tray before, and they just don't
I don't know how to hold this. What side does it go on?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Why?
Where do I put? Underneath, on the side? I don't know how to do
Everything
this.
keeps slipping off of it. That's because you got it upside down, dummy.
Sliding.
It was sliding. The cheeseburger was sliding. And the French fries were sliding.
Two.
Yeah, with the heat, it's nothing to goof around with.
Nope.
Story of a woman who went out on a hike. This is in Utah. Going out for a vacation. They're out for a hike, and all of a sudden she doesn't feel good. Needs to sit down, and the next thing you know, she passes out. New Jersey woman who was vacationing in Utah. When she came to, the woman standing over her that was helping her out was none other than Julie Bowen from Modern Family.
It's like a dream.
Imagine you pass out, you wake up, and it's Julie Bowen from Modern Family helping you out.
Well, that's what I would hope happens.
Minnie John was hiking at the Arches National Park with her family when she started to feel lightheaded, sat down.
Who's she married to? Tom Thumb?
She tells her her husband and son, go ahead without me. While all alone, she fainted and hit her nose. Who's leaving their wife to faint at the side of the...
I'm not feeling well. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, well-
Oh, yeah, sure. Right on. Only the strong survive. What are you doing, Tom Thumb? You're going to leave Minnie John behind? Minnie John's not going to make it. It's right there in her name. You're expecting Minnie John, who's not feeling well, to be able to climb these rocks?
See, Minnie John to me would be great. You know how there's like the diminutive version of Kiss?
Yes.
Minnie John would be great if you had like a little person who did Elton John tunes, such as Even Tinier Dancer.
Tiniest dancer.
Hold me closer, tiniest dancer. Goodbye, yellow brick road, where munchkins like me do live.
Where munchkins line the road.
Daniel, my brother, you are taller than me. Minnie John, singing all your favorite Elton John hits with a twist.
You don't leave Minnie John.
Minnie John.
In Utah, you're from New Jersey. And she says she's not feeling well? You guys go on.
You go on.
You got it.
So the husband and the wife, or the husband and the son, leave this Minnie John there at the Arches National Park. I'm feeling lightheaded. I need to sit down.
I don't feel so good.
Well, we're going on this hike.
You are not ruining this for us again.
Damn it, Minnie.
Damn it, Minnie John.
We came all the way out to Utah. You are not ruining this for us.
Minnie John also sounds like it could be just a coffee can that you bring with you. An empty coffee can that just says Minnie John on it.
Don't forget the Minnie John.
I think I really need to go. Well,
I brought this Minnie John.
Break out the Minnie John. It says so right here. used a Sharpie on some masking tape. It says Mini John.
Mini John performing such hits as Honky Kitten and Bottle Rocket Man. It's Mini John. Tea Candle in the Wind. All your diminutive Elton John favorites, as only Mini John can perform them. Someone saved my life tonight, and it was Julie Bowen from Modern Family.
Nice.
Yeah, she was, I guess, with her sister Annie, who is a doctor.
And they're out there hiking as well, huh?
Mini John says, all I remember is sitting there with my head in my hands, secure on the rock. Next thing I hear someone with a familiar voice that kept asking me questions. As her vision cleared...
Can you imagine if it was Sofia Vergara?
I'd be happy with either one. Either one would be
No, I know,
terrific.
but I'm just talking about the voice that you're hearing.
No, I would just assume that I was in hell. I died and I went to hell. You're standing next to it! Oh, no.
Oh, brother.
I should have been a better person. Too late now.
But I knew I wasn't going to be. If I could do it all again, I wouldn't be any better.
So her vision started to clear, and Annie, who is Julie's sister, who's a doctor, was cleaning her wounds. They offered her pretzels and electrolytes.
Do you got any mustard with those pretzels? Probably not offering soft pretzels.
Do you got any bochies?
Do you got any cheese to dip that in?
Annie asked Mini John to guess who the familiar face was. Do you know who this is? This is my sister. Does she seem familiar? You ever seen Happy Gilmore? Is it Happy Gilmore she's in?
Mm-hmm. And then she was also in, not Ted. What was it called? Ed?
Oh, yeah. God, she's great. Annie asks Mini John to guess who the familiar face was. Quote, I told her I just hit my head. I can't remember.
I don't know.
She said, Modern Family. And I said, of course. I told her she was so beautiful. Before they parted ways, Julie Bowen and her sister used John's phone to help contact her husband and son.
Can we wait till you're done picking the glass out of my face?
Wait a minute. Did they leave her too?
We got to go.
Why does everybody leave this poor woman on the side of the road? We're not going to be here when your family comes back. We'd like to also do some hiking, so.
We like to avoid the fans if we can.
Well, I don't know that it helps out that your sister is... Hey, did she look familiar to you? Does this do anything for you? Huh? You ever watch... It's Claire Dunphy. What do you think of that? From Modern Family, huh? Does that do anything for you?
Never seen it.
Boy, that'd be...
And they kick her in the face.
Mini John is like, yeah, I don't watch television. Oh my gosh, Next thing I hear, someone with a familiar voice that kept asking me questions. I wondered if I might be watching TV. My eyes were closed and they said I'll be fine. They were cleaning my face and bandaging me up. I heard that familiar voice saying I'm going to be okay. A doctor is cleaning me up. The face looked so familiar, and I asked again if I knew her or if she was famous, and the doctor said yes. As my eyes started to focus more, she smiled and took her hair tie off and shook her hair for me to figure it out. Her sister, the doctor, asked me to guess who,
Good
and I told
Lord,
her...
talk about... Maybe she doesn't recognize me because I've got my hair pulled back, and now... What are you
All right,
doing?
I'm going to make myself look like I do on television.
How desperate are you? It's good to know, very desperate.
She fell forward when she fainted, hitting her nose on the ground. The injury fractured her nose and required 5 stitches. In addition to being dehydrated there on the trail in Utah, Mini John is also diabetic and let her sugar level drop too low. You got a diabetic wife and you're going to just leave her there? In addition to having a doctor and bandages on hand, Bowen came prepared with snacks to help her recover. Fellow hikers ran up the trail to inform John's family of the situation so they could come and get Mini John.
Now what has she done?
Oh, son of a... We can't have nothing nice on
So
vacation.
the doctor put stitches in?
Well, another doctor did. I don't know that.
And why they
Julie
shaved me
Bowens-
for surgery, I don't know.
Imagine you. You wake up.
Why was I shaved for surgery?
You wake up after hitting your head on the trail, and Julie Bowen is shaving you. Wait a minute.
Oh my
None
God.
of this.
There is a heaven.
The dream is always the same.
That's the dream I'll have tonight.
Minnie John writes here, I praise God for all the doctors and nurses we have in our lives. They truly are superheroes. And those celebrities are awesome human beings too. Love you, Julie and Annie. And now I have become famous for 1 minute for my antics.
This just proves it to me. It cements it that people on TV are so much better than the rest of us. We really don't deserve them. Our lives would be meaningless without them.
Look at how bandaged her face
She's beat up.
is.
Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, that's terrible. She took a picture here with Julie and Annie, the Bowen girls. Her face is rather bandaged.
Everyone's smiling and they're trying. It hurts.
This was a bucket list trip to go to the Arches to see
For who?
Delicate Arch for Minnie John.
Oh,
She was dying to see this. Do you recognize me? No, I just hit my
let me
head.
take my hair out of this ponytail. Now?
No? Does this anything?
No.
How about this? How about I yell at my idiot husband, Phil?
Yeah, Phil.
Oh, I don't quite. It's not quite there. Minnie John writes here, daredevil or dumb as can be, I still consider this trek up the mountain as one of my proudest achievements in my life.
Proudest? Do you know what that word means? What are you so damn proud about?
You passed out and broke your nose, sweetheart. That's not to be proud of. She writes here, sometimes you need to take those chances in life to experience heights and depths.
It could have led to my demise.
I really think the story here is the husband and son who felt good leaving this poor woman
We know
in the desert.
we know what sort of condition she's in.
She's diabetic. What's the matter with you? All right, you stay there. We're going to go look at that arch.
Number 3.
Three.
Mention that today is VJ Day, celebrating our victory over the Japanese in World War II. The Olympics are over with now, right? Mm-hmm. And we won the Olympics. Is that correct? We got the most medals, the most gold, the most medals?
The ROC did pretty well.
Which I still don't understand how that's a thing. If you're banned, you're banned. But there it is. I will say I probably watched a grand total of 20 minutes worth of the Olympics. Most of it, water polo. Which is, I don't know how they're able to do that. Because that's a deep pool, right? They're not touching, their feet don't touch the floor of the pool, right?
No, your feet can't touch the ground.
That's
No, that would be a good. What I didn't know is that
Yeah.
I saw some of the water polo, and I believe it was the women's playing the water polo.
Yeah.
I don't think they have mixed water polo, although I don't know why they wouldn't. Why wouldn't you have that?
Well, there's not really mixed anything in the Olympics, is there? Do they have mixed?
Mixed doubles in.
Do they have
in
mixed
tennis.
doubles in the Olympics?
They should have mixed stuff more often.
Mixed everything.
Mixed everything.
Mm-hmm.
But even like during a timeout, when they come over to the edge of the pool and the coach is talking to them, they have to tread water then.
Oh, that doesn't seem right.
You can't stand there then?
There were mixed relays in track and swimming at the Tokyo Olympics. Also mixed pistol and rifle competitions.
Okay.
Mixed judo? How would that work?
A judo team?
All right.
Do you tag off?
It's like, what is it, like Street Fighter? You two versus you two. Fight! Also, a mixed table tennis was a thing.
And that
mixed
table tennis is something else.
Mixed gender relays. This was new for the Tokyo Olympics, where you got men handing the baton
didn't
off to
see
women.
that.
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
And that table tennis, did you see any of that?
No.
They play on such tiny little tables.
Yeah? Well,
It's remarkable. I mean, it looks like they're tinier tables. The tables that like you would play on,
Yeah.
it looks like half the size.
Really?
Yeah.
So I know an Olympic swimming pool is bigger than a regular swimming pool.
Right, but I
an
think
Olympic ping pong table you're telling me is smaller than what I would play with in my basement or garage?
well, is there a difference?
There must be.
Is there a difference between ping pong and table tennis?
I believe.
Like
No, that's the same thing.
it's the same thing?
Yeah, we just call it ping pong. But
Boy, I wonder why we do that.
it's probably racist, right? It's probably racist somehow. Probably we shouldn't call it ping pong.
Well, what's wrong with table tennis?
Well, because
Because I remember when we
table tennis sounds like you're putting on airs.
when we were playing.
I'm playing tennis.
I remember
essentially.
that we had an old table. We had an old table that we just as opposed to buying a ping pong table,
Yeah.
we just had an old table and Dad just put a net on it.
What year do you think table tennis became an Olympic sport?
Became an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
I will say 1960.
The answer is 1988.
Really?
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been in like the 50s or 60s too. Okay, I'm looking here. This looks like a normal sized ping pong table to me.
Does it?
Or table tennis. This looks very normal size to me. You're saying you think this is?
It looked to me like it was shorter. And then you had people playing doubles.
Well, yeah, because
And it's like they're just
no, these just look like normal.
okay, so they're normal size.
What sort of mansion are you living in that you would have a bigger table tennis?
We didn't. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's normal size.
Is it?
Yeah, no,
Maybe it's the angle.
that's what it is. It's all about the angles. In Japan, they're very happy to be done with the Tokyo Olympics. Most Japanese weren't in favor of them even having them in the first place with everything that's going on. One way that they're dealing with the pandemic over there, and this is a neat idea, although I think it's a little problematic, and I'm sure you'll have the same conclusion I have here. If you have a baby in Japan, right? Mm-hmm. You can't really have relatives come and visit because the pandemic is going on over there.
Yeah. Raging.
So what they've come up with are Japanese rice babies. What you do is, let's say you deliver a baby.
Yeah.
All right? You get this bag of rice that weighs the exact same as the baby. Then you put the baby's face on the bag of rice.
Uh-huh. And then you eat the baby?
And then you got there quicker than I did. You then send the bag of rice to like the grandparents so they can hold an approximation of the baby without holding the baby.
Or prepared some sticky rice.
Bags come in a wide range of designs, shaped like a baby wrapped in a blanket, so relatives can feel as though they're hugging the new arrival while looking at a picture of the baby's face.
Couldn't you just look at the picture and hug a pillow?
But it doesn't have the same heft as a baby. The amount of rice in the bag is matched to the newborn's birth weight. And the price increases, by the way. The bigger the baby, the more money. It's going to cost a little bit more money.
Well, sure, that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so these things go for like 3,500 yen for a bag of rice, which works out to about $32 for your rice baby. One owner of a rice shop here, the Kome Nozoto Yoshihima Rice Shop, Naruo Ono says, quote, I first had the idea about 14 years ago when my own son was born, and I was thinking about what I could do for relatives who lived far away and couldn't come and see him. So we decided to make bags of rice that were the same weight and shape as the baby, so relatives could hold them and feel the cuteness. Customer saw one of the rice bags and the picture of their son on it at the company shop there and said, well, that's a good idea. You should really think about expanding that and making that for your customers. And they got orders from all over Japan. And now, I mean, they sell little outfits that you can put the rice baby in.
Well, that's pretty lifelike.
It's
Although that doesn't look like a newborn baby. It's like a 1-year-old. That kid's like 5.
The rice bags, the baby's very popular. The demand is increased. And now this is this is a big deal over there. But eventually, you got to cut that baby open and eat the baby's insides, right? Do you just keep the bag of rice somewhere forever?
I mean, rice will last for a while, but not forever.
Right. At some point, you're going to have to split that baby open and eat the rice inside. And that, I think, would be very...
When the baby goes through puberty, you're allowed to eat the rice.
Like, if it were me, if my kid sent me a rice baby, I think I would donate the rice baby to charity. I wouldn't want to have to cut the bag open and eat the baby.
But for someone who is not attached,
Right.
they wouldn't have a problem with splitting the bag open.
Right. I'd have no problem eating a Japanese rice baby because I don't know that kid. I don't know the family.
And you know it's just rice in a picture.
Right. I don't have any emotional attachment to it. If the idea is that you're holding it and you're feeling like you're holding your grandchildren, it just seems odd that you have to at some point do something with the rice. Cuz that's or do you just keep the baby in a cupboard? Like that's not great either.
Mm-mm. But you don't want your baby to get bugs.
Oh. Had to throw the baby out. It was getting the baby turned.
Turn bad, real bad.
Well, it's an interesting idea.
I think that kid's going to be rotten. Why do you say that? Rice doesn't go that bad that quick.
How long can you have rice on the shelf? The rice, like
Well, typical rice, they basically will probably say that your expiration is
shelf
a
life.
few months?
Shelf life here, it says dry white rice has a shelf life of up to 2 years.
2 years.
Brown rice will only keep for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Signs of expired rice include holes in the packaging, bugs, water, and mold.
Well, yeah, if mice are getting into it. I get that.
Mice have gotten into the baby. This isn't great. Brown rice can become rancid, oily, or discolored.
So,
Well, so can babies, actually. So that's very lifelike.
Number
4.
4.
4.
4.
Baseball season.
uh-huh.
When does the baseball season begin anyway? The Cleveland Indians announced that they're changing their name. And we finally know what the name is going to be. It's going to be the Cleveland Guardians. That much you probably already know. What I find fascinating is they didn't bother to see if anyone else was using that name.
Uh-oh.
They didn't do their homework. And it turns out there is a male roller derby team that has been calling themselves the Cleveland Guardians for almost a decade. They have the website, clevelandguardians.com.
How do you not do that?
They have the Facebook, Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians roller derby team.
How is no one not aware of that?
You would think that would be the very first thing you would do, right?
Well, or you would also think that if you're from Cleveland, if you're working in Cleveland,
Yes.
you haven't heard of the roller derby team? Nobody? Just nobody? So it's like, wait a minute, guys. Just a second, Sandy.
Well, this is where it gets a little tricky because the male roller derby team, which I'll confess I didn't know that was a thing. Male roller derby?
Well, sure.
For me, it's just always about the Kansas City Bombers. I don't know that.
Well, you had roller ball.
Well, okay.
Those were guys.
The roller derby team, they have had the website and they have the Facebook, right? They filed a trademark application for the rights to the name.
Yeah.
They didn't have that. The baseball team filed a trademark application for the rights to the name 4 days before the roller derby team went ahead and did it. But where it gets tricky is a trademark usually goes to the first entity to use the name,
Yes.
not the first to file for it.
Right. If you can prove that you're using it.
Right. So now we're looking at a trademark battle. So there's a couple of things that could happen here. One is they decide we'll go with the spiders or something else, right? Although that's probably not going to happen because they probably invested a lot in this Cleveland Guardians name already. The thing, too, about trademarks is we own a trademark for our podcasting company. We own the trademark for Nacho Radio, right? If somebody wanted to have Nacho Radio, but it was a Nacho chip, not instead of a podcast, the way our lawyer explained it to us, they could do that because you're not in the same field. But since the roller derby team is a sports team,
Yes.
the Cleveland Guardians can't be a baseball team unless
They work something out.
right, and that's where it's going to get tricky. Either these roller derby guys are going to get paid substantially, which is probably what's going to happen.
Well, and this is what I would suggest, that you don't take a one-time offer.
You get paid every year.
Every year that the
Licensing?
Cleveland Guardians are a thing.
This is where it gets a little tricky, though, because who do you think's going to have better lawyers? A Major League Baseball team or a bunch of guys on roller skates?
I get it.
And who has deeper pockets to fund the lawyers?
But that's why I'm saying don't go for the one-time settlement.
At one point, and you have some, I mean, you worked inside baseball for a couple of years. Wouldn't you think someone within the Cleveland Indian organization would have gone through the trouble of at least looking to see that Cleveland Guardians was a website that was available?
Well, you don't even just Google it and it shows up. This doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know I'm good at Google and everything,
You
but
are.
other people could do it.
Yes. You look to see if the website is available.
Well, not even that. You just Google the name, and it would come up as a website and a team.
Right. You would think that would be something that somebody would have done. I mean, you went through the trouble to have Tom Hanks narrate your coming out video.
And he didn't do it for free.
No, you're right. He probably didn't. Cleveland Guardians roller derby. Yeah, here I go. ClevelandGuardians.com.
Yeah.
There's the
is.
logo. Cleveland Guardians merchandise now available.
Now's the time to grab it.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the schedule.
I just don't see how that happens.
How no one does that? Now they're offering merchandise. And I guess the baseball team's not happy that they're offering Cleveland Guardians merchandise.
Tough. We were here first.
U.S. trademark was applied for by the roller derby squad on July 27th, 4 days after the Cleveland Indians announced it would be changing the name of the ball club to the Guardians for next season. Now, let me throw this at you. Guardians was one of the names that people thought that the Indians would go with. Why wouldn't you have, if you were the roller derby team, gotten that trademark taken care of before they made the
No
announcement?
kidding.
Why are you waiting until after they make the announcement? Trademark application for the team on skates covers bumper stickers, koozies, jerseys, tank tops, socks, shorts, t-shirts, clothing, footwear, and headwear. So caps, shirts, all of that stuff.
Get them while you can.
The people in Cleveland, one of the news organizations here, asked the Cleveland Guardians roller derby team for comment. They said, we're unable to comment on anything. And the Cleveland Indians also declining to comment. So this is something that'll be going to the courts. Well, here's the thing, too. If it does go to court,
I mean, the law is
it
the
might
law.
it might not get settled by April, right? I mean, the season starts in late March. All you had to do was check clevelandguardians.com. And no one in that organization did that. They've had the domain name and social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram since 2011.
And no one had ever heard of them.
No. But even if you hadn't heard of a roller derby team, that the first thing you should do is when you make the announcement that you're going to be the Cleveland Guardians, you should have a website ready to go.
Yep.
that says, okay, here we are. Here's our team, Did they just think that the roller derby team was just going to hand it to them? Or did they genuinely not even know that it was a thing? I don't know which is worse. They're both not great.
Five.
Number 5.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about how McDonald's is telling the restaurants, hey, cool it with the bags. They're running short on bags to put the food in.
Yeah, not when you're dining in.
Right. What they have always done, recently, I guess, when they put your food, they put it in a bag, and then they put it on a tray. And you take the food out of the bag, and they're asking the employees to just put the food on the tray, and that's problematic for a lot
How's that work?
A lot of newer employees have never lived in a world where that's the reality.
But you put it in the bag.
No, we're saving the bags for drive-in. If they're dining in, just put the food on the tray. I don't know what you're talking about.
But it goes in the bag.
No, you just put the food right on the tray. It's going to be fine. You don't need to use a bag if they're dining in.
Which way is this way or that way?
No, don't use it at all. The bag is just for people in cars.
What about this way?
There's a woman suing McDonald's because she says their advertising forced her to break her fast during Lent. An Orthodox Christian, this is in Russia, Ksenia Ovichkova, says she was trying to stay away from meat during Lent. And the advertisement for McDonald's was so tantalizing, so enticing, it made her give in.
I can't stand it.
She says in a statement, when I saw an advertising banner, I could not help myself. I visited McDonald's and bought a cheeseburger. She is suing, by the way, for 1,000 rubles, which works out to about $14. She would like
How many cheeseburgers did she get? Beefy. Because what are cheeseburgers? $2?
In Russia, I don't know. She's suing for $14 or 1,000 rubles as compensation for sustained moral damage. I would like you to give me $14 for what you did to me. Make me to eat a hamburger sandwich, yes?
Put it in a bag.
In Russia, hamburger eat you. She says in the lawsuit, in the actions of McDonald's, I see a violation of the consumer protection law. I ask the court to investigate, and if a violation has taken place, to oblige McDonald's to compensate me for moral damage in the amount of 1,000 rubles.
You know that's $14.
What? $14? I'll live the rest of my life on that money. $14, I can retire from my job harvesting horse meat for McDonald's. The complaint accuses
Allegedly.
First I go to McDonald's, I get the cheeseburger sandwich, then I get moose and squirrel. And I eat them too. I am terrible.
They are also part of hamburger. Allegedly.
Hey, Rocky. Watch me turn a rabbit into a hamburger. That trick never work. I'm not sure why I'm making Rocky Russian.
I like Rocky being Russian.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a babushka out of my hat. A babushka is a hat, Russian bullwinkle. Didn't realize my own strength.
Mary Shack!
Here in the States, it's time once again to visit the Fond du Lac area. Donald Gorski's back in the news. You know who Donald Gorski is?
Now, is he the guy who's been nailed for like 10 or 12 DUIs?
No. Donald Gorski is the guy who's had a
a Big Mac for every day of his life, yeah.
He's eaten a Big Mac every day since 1972.
Which is what, like 3 years after they came out with the thing? 3 or 4 years after they came out with the thing?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of he didn't eat his first one until he got his driver's license. And the first place.
And now that I have access to it.
Donald Gorski lives over by there in Fond du Lac, yeah, hey. He averages 2 McDonald's Big Macs a day, and he's been making him part of his daily routine. He has not missed a day since 1972.
But he's not a big guy, right?
No, he's a skinny dude.
Yeah, but this is all I eat, really.
Yeah. I've read that that's a thing. Like, if you just eat one thing, you can eat a lot of it, and your body just gets rid of it, right? I mean, this guy has held the Guinness World Record for lifetime Big Mac consumption since 1999. Just had his record updated. The most current total that we have is 32,340 Big Macs. He was recognized by the people at Guinness as the record holder for most Big Mac burgers eaten in a lifetime back in 1999. 32,340 Big Macs. What's a Big Mac go for? Like $2-3?
Oh no, it's more than that. That's just the sandwich is probably what, $4.50?
Really? No, I mean,
I would think so. I mean, they have deals from time to time where you can.
I mean, there's no way to do this with if you adjust for inflation. I'm not sure how you would do that, but if you
I would
multiply 32,340 by $4.50.
Well, probably the original Big Mac was probably no more than $1.
That's like 100, right? But $1 in 1972 would be about the same, right? I mean, does it automatically adjust for inflation if we're talking about the same product over a period of time? It's like it works out to.
I mean, getting 2 Big Macs. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes they have the deal where you can get the second one for $1.
Oh,
but,
right, okay.
But that's not always the case.
Well,
that's still a lot of money to spend on fast food every day. 2 Big Macs.
Yeah, this guy spent like $150,000 on Big Macs over the course of his life. And here's the thing: we can actually take a look and get you an exact total, because in addition to eating all of the Big Macs, he also keeps the packages.
What?
And the receipts.
But the
from every
receipts are going to
burger.
fade. Receipts from even just a couple of years ago are going to be. There's nothing on them.
But he like keeps the box it comes in.
What?
His wife says here, quote, "Don did not tell me about his Big Mac obsession when we first met. I'm not sure it was quite an obsession then. He ate Big Macs every day. Sometimes I would even bring him a Big Mac. I just didn't realize it would go on forever." Well, if you know somebody who's eating a Big Mac every day,
Yeah.
why would you assume that would end?
And it's because you've had how many Big Macs in your life?
Half of one.
Half of one. Yeah, I remember that.
It's too much on it. It's the special sauce.
I think you could probably do it now. I think you could finish one now.
No. Negative. His love affair with Big Macs began when he got his first car. He says here, "I drove straight to McDonald's, got my first 3 Big Macs, then got in the car and ate them. In that moment, I said, I'm probably going to eat these for the rest of my life. I throw the cartons in the back seat of my car, and I started counting from day one."
Great.
He says he keeps healthy because he looks like he's in great shape. He doesn't ever get French fries, and he walks 6 miles every single day. So that's how you avoid becoming,
No fries.
Yeah, no fries. Just,
There's got to be somebody out there that you could partner up with. There's someone out there who gets the fries every day.
Yeah, I don't know that they would still be with us.
Maybe not. Small, even a small order of fries every day.
Here's some video from the people at the Guinness Book of World Records with Don Gorski, the king.
I love hamburger like no other food. I have eaten 32,340 Big Macs in my lifetime. I am closing in on 50 years next year of eating them every day. This is a McDonald's Big Mac. It's the best sandwich in the world. When I like something, I stick with it all the time. My habit right now is just to eat 2 a day, and that would be like 14 a week.
He's got a room in his basement where he folds up all the boxes and has them stored. And he's rifling through them like
their albums?
Yeah, like their record albums.
Oh boy.
And because, for one thing, my love of hamburger. May 17th, 1972 is the day I got my first car. I drove to McDonald's. I ordered my first 3 Big Macs, went out in the car and ate them. And I said right there that I'm gonna probably eat these the rest of my life. And I threw the cartons in the back seat and started counting them from day one.
This cat has like a bowl haircut, crazy sideburns, and his hair goes down to his ass. He's an interesting character. When they make the movie, this guy's life.
Right.
Wow.
Why have they not
This is
already?
2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on. How I keep track of how many Big Macs I've eaten is, for one thing, I save the cartons. Another thing is I save all the receipts, and I also keep a running count on a calendar. I've kept a running count on the calendar since May 17, 1972, right up through today, so I can tell you which Big Macs I ate on which day. This is a McDonald's Big Mac. It's the best sandwich in the world. As you see here, you've got your sesame seed bun on
Yeah,
the
no,
top,
we
first
know what's in
patty,
it.
Pickles. You have some lettuce, special sauce. And you got your middle bun, second patty, slice of cheese, more lettuce and special sauce, and then the bottom of the bun. And that is your best sandwich in the world. Delicious.
Don Gorski did not tell me about his Big Mac obsession.
Why is
when
she
we first
calling him
met.
Don
I'm not sure it
Gorski?
was an obsession quite then. He ate Big Macs every day. As a matter of fact, sometimes I would bring him a Big Mac, but I didn't realize it would go on forever.
I ate my first Big Mac on May 17th, 1972. I started out eating pretty much 9 a day for quite a while here. I'm not a
9 a day?
Now, why have you stayed with Don Gorski all these years? Well, that's not the only streak he's got going.
There's like a level of their house devoted to this guy's. Wow.
He's got another streak that he's keeping alive as well.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Big Mac and.
a type of person that tries new stuff, and when I like something, I stick with it all the time. It's like, for me, it's Big Macs every day. It's Coca-Cola every day. The stuff that I like is what I do every day, and it's just part of the way I am. People that say that Big Macs are unhealthy, I think it depends on the person. I think for most people, if they're unhealthy, it's because they maybe eat too much. For somebody like me, if I eat 2 Big Macs, and that's pretty much all I eat all day, but I like the fries, sure, but you know, that's one of the things where I feel like I can keep from eating and not gain too much weight, you know, so, but the Big Macs I gotta have, so that's my main diet.
So Don comes into the restaurant quite often. Since 1972, he used to come in once a day and order 2 Big Macs. Since he's been retired, I think he figured out he was spending more on gas than he was on sandwiches, so now he picks up 6 at a time and 8 at a time on Mondays and Thursdays. So we
Look
get
at
to see him
that
twice a week.
goofy grin on his face.
Okay, I probably will be eating Big Macs every day for the rest of my life.
So you're not even eating fresh ones? You're not even eating fresh Big Macs?
I'm spending too much money on gas driving all the way to the McDonald's.
How far is the McDonald's?
It's in Fond du Lac, where he lives.
Right. So what is that like?
No, well, if you
2 miles?
but if you factor in all the trips, Darren, if I come every day, I got a calendar here of all the gasoline that I've spent going to the McDonald's, and
See the smile on my face? That's not the only streak he's got going.
so he will get a bunch and then microwave them.
Oh boy.
Microwaving lettuce never works out.
No.
Mary once told me that when it comes to where she's got to put a Big Mac in a blender, that she says it's over for me. But if I eat Big Macs every day, and then when I do go, my boys can write down which Big Mac was the last one I ate, and then they can tell people, oh,
It was
many Big
this
Macs
one.
will kill you.
As far as Don's health, the doctor has said it's pretty good, actually. His blood sugar's been normal. His cholesterol has been exceptionally good.
I've stayed in pretty good shape because, for one thing, I'm kind of hyperactive. I do a lot of walking. I like to joke with people. I tell them I walk around the block usually, but they don't know that it's 6 miles around our block. We have my granddaughter, Serena, seeing her first Big Mac ever. And this is my granddaughter, Anna, seeing her first Big Mac ever.
He's got pictures on the wall of when he showed his grandchildren a Big Mac for the first time.
They say my heart's about the size of a Big Mac.
And then he's saying when he goes, his boys can tell everybody what the last number was.
Yeah, well, the last number was.
I mean, whatever makes you happy, man. That's great. If he seems to be in good health, he's not hurting anybody. I don't know that I would put up with keeping all of the cartons.
They say I've got a there's a mass in my head the size of a Big Mac. Ironically, it's the same size as a Big Mac.
Everything to this guy is just like he just relates to everything via the Big Mac as a unit of measurement. Oh, I would say my wife and I have been married for 8,000 Big Macs now. What? Yeah, and the fact that Mrs. Gorski calls her husband Don Gorski. Here's a picture I took of my granddaughter seeing her very first Big Mac. Wow.
A lot of people that have gotten in touch with me, and they've given me their McDonald's collections and, just given me stuff that meant something to them that was McDonald's related, and they wanted me to have it. And so it doesn't matter how trivial a thing McDonald's-wise that people give me, I'm going to save it for the rest of my life. Big Macs will always be my favorite food, and it's just like, sometimes people will say, well, what happens if they quit making them? And they aren't going to quit making them. I'm sure this place will probably just stay open for me just to keep making them, but gotta thank my wife
lose
for
money doing
being
that.
patient with me all these years because she doesn't let it bother her, and it's been great being married to her. And
we got a little
putting up with all
trade-off
this stuff.
We got an arrangement.
Family. If you know a little bit about Don, he's more of a humble servant with a great appetite for a great sandwich.
He's a humble servant. That's what he is. Wow.
I'd like to go to Fond du Lac, buy a Big Mac, go to Don's house and go, here, it's for you.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
No, he wouldn't.
I'll accept it gladly. This is terrific for me. I save everything McDonald's. Wow. Well,
what's his cake look like on his birthdays?
They just put a
They just
candle
put a candle in a Big Mac.
right?
I don't want a cake that looks like a Big Mac.
Here he's got a wall of all the different cartons over the years.
We've got a lot of mice. Got a pretty serious mouse problem. Always have had.
You think this cat's ever had a Whopper in his life?
Oh God, don't even.
You
Don't.
mention the look his wife would give me if I said that in front of him.
Don't do that.
Don't bring him. No, he doesn't need to know about the Whopper. Don Gorski doesn't need to know about the Whopper. What's the matter with you? You ever had a Monster Burger, Don? A what now?
He doesn't even know Hardee's exists. He probably thinks it's like some sort of hardware store.
Wait, they sell hamburger sandwiches there too?
What?
What? I can go to other places, get a hamburger sandwich?
Don, here's a Big King from Whopper, from from Burger King. It's for you.
This is for you.
But this isn't a Big Mac. Pretty close though, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Or here's the Big Hardy. It's for you.
He was eating in 72. He was eating 9 Big Macs a day.
Ugh. Well,
How did he not balloon to
younger
a
guy? Still 9. That's a ton. That's a ton.
Yeah, I guess. Well, he's retired. I don't know what he did for a living, but I know where he liked to go for lunch. He's a Big Mac enthusiast. He worked as a correctional officer in a prison for 25 years. That's how this guy made his living.
You would think walking in there smelling like a Big Mac every day, that eventually someone would grab you.
On birthdays, he puts candles in a Big Mac like a cake.
Yeah.
And when Christmas time comes around, Don treats himself to more Big Macs while his family has more
a turkey.
The family has traditional Christmas food. He just has Big Macs.
Additional ones.
Since he ate his first Big Mac on May 17, 1972, there have been 8 separate days in which he did not eat a Big Mac.
Oh boy.
One of those days was the day his mother died. He did not eat a Big Mac that day to respect her wishes. Damn it, Don.
Jesus,
I'm
Don,
about to
just
go.
one day.
Just for me. When I die, For one day, would you not eat a damn Big Mac?
Show a little gratitude, you creep.
Other days included a snow day when the McDonald's was unable to open due to snow.
Oh, boy. Aren't there other McDonald's? Come on, there's
A Thanksgiving. Daisy was traveling and could not find a McDonald's.
probably started to freak
I
out.
was going to say, you don't want to be around him. Can you imagine being on a vacation with him and there's no McDonald's in town? It just starts clawing at the walls. And there were a couple days at prison where he had to work past midnight.
That was during the riots.
Since then, he's begun keeping an emergency stash of Big Macs in his freezer for emergencies and snow days.
He was being held hostage. And some of the hostage demands, he included Big Macs. I know you guys want a helicopter, but would it kill you to get some Big Macs in here? I know you want passports and a helicopter and a plane, but Big Mac me?
Write down Big Mac on your list of demands.
Write down Big Mac.
We don't want a Big Mac. Not for you.
No, for me. Otherwise, I'm going to snap.
I got Stockholm Syndrome. We're in this together now, as long as I get a Big Mac. Oh, my God. The mom is dying, and she
I'm
says,
no longer Don Gorski. Call me Tanya.
Donnie, when I go, just
Would
for
you
one
just?
day.
You goof.
For one day, could you not with the Big Mac? Just for a day to honor.
It's Thousand Island dressing, Don. It's not a secret sauce.
He says that his taste buds have always fluctuated in sensitivity, so he often eats Big Macs without being able to taste them. I can't even taste it.
I can't taste this.
I don't know what the hell this tastes
You
like.
might want to get tested. You might want to get tested.
Your taste buds fluctuate in sensitivity.
What? That doesn't happen.
Some days I can taste them and some days I can't. Wow. He records where he eats the Big Macs in a notebook that he always has on him.
Ugh.
And he's kept every burger receipt in a box.
Ugh. God.
Well, congratulations. Next year's 50th anniversary of the Big Mac. So,
Next year?
or no, that was,
No,
it'll be his 50th anniversary.
His 50th.
Yeah, the Big Mac has been available since 1968. We've already
Yeah,
had the
68,
right.
yeah.
But it'll be his 50th anniversary.
55 nickels here in a couple of years.
Right. Well, enjoy the
Okay.
Don, I'm about to go to heaven. Could you just for one day for me to honor my memory? Okay. But the next day, so help me, Mom.
At midnight.
I'll be waiting in the parking lot. When they change over from breakfast to lunch, Ma, I'm going to be there, salivating all over the steering wheel of my car.
And your coffin.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so.
I didn't think it'd be like this.
Yeah, I meant to ask you this while we were doing the show, but I didn't. But that's the beauty of having a podcast after the show.
Mm-hmm.
When we were on break, were you able to sleep in at all?
Yes.
So I have not been able to the last 2 or 3 years when I've been on vacation. I haven't been able to sleep in.
Oh, yeah.
But this last week,
Yeah.
slept like the dead.
Yeah.
It was great.
And what was the difference?
I don't know what the difference is. Like,
Because was
Years
it
and
because
years
everyone else in
ago-
your family was also sleeping in?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe that's it. Like years and years ago, when we were doing a morning show together, I could sleep in on vacations and sleep in on weekends even.
Yeah.
But like I don't sleep in on weekends usually. I usually am up pretty early just because of the way that my circadian rhythm is dialed.
I don't
in.
allow that.
Yeah, no. But this last week, like every morning, I would wake up way later than I normally do, and I was just like, oh, I wonder.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Is nature healing itself? Why am I able to sleep?
I wouldn't allow myself to get out of bed too early.
Okay, I think that's wise. Thanks for listening to Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And we want to say thanks to our sponsor, Nature's Treatment of Illinois.
They have 2 locations, Tech Drive in Milan and West Main Street in Galesburg. The Milan store offers both medicinal and recreational. Galesburg is recreational only, and the recreational waiting lists are available. You can reserve your time. Do that at the website ntillinois.com.
Until we get a chance to do it for you again, hang loose, kooks.
And you stay classy and safe, Quad Cities.
Come on, Quad Cities, represent. This is for the Quad Cities record spot. Davenport, yeah, we keeping it locked. Rock Island, come on, and it just don't stop. East Moline, yeah, they keeping it hot.
My, you boys sure do say a lot of words in a row.